Okay, let's move on to the news about Harry Kane, who's actually in Munich undergoing his medical. Obviously, this story breaking very late on Thursday evening that it seemed that the deal was done. And then there's been all sorts of back and forths even today, which we will get to as we welcome in Archie Rintut to talk more about this. Nadem is still with us. And from Spain, we've also got Ian Dark and Steve McManaman as well. So let's get to talking to the guys as well. I'll hopefully hear from Archie in just a moment. But Macca, what's your initial thoughts on the move? Do you think he's made the right one?
Yes, I personally do. I think he's got nothing to prove. I know everybody spoke about this Premier League goal-scoring record of Alan Shearer's that he wanted to take over, and we all understand that. But then Bayern come calling for him, so it's no surprise to me whatsoever. They've had the right words with him, spoke to his agent, said the right things. Bayern needs a centre-forward. Since they lost Robert Lewandowski, they haven't been the same power. You know, they've got Serge Gnabry, they've got Kingsley Coman, they've got Leroy Sané. So actually, getting Harry Kane there, if he stays fit this year, you can't see him but scoring 30 goals plus in the Bundesliga for Bayern Munich. So I think it's a great move. I wish him all the best if it does go through. And I hope he's a huge, huge success. I really do. He deserves it. He's a wonderful ambassador for English football and he deserves everything he gets.
All right, Archie Rintut with us and will be on the sidelines all season as well in the Bundesliga. Let's talk about it all then, Archie. What do we know so far? Because there was even drama today with delayed flights and talk of whether this would still go through.
There was yet more dramatisation of this whole thing. I think that I'm probably one of quite a few who's relieved that we're finally at the end of this saga. And yeah, eventually, even after he had a 4-minute wait in front of a barrier at the car park of the hospital, where he was awkwardly photographed by fans, reporters and whatnot, he went in, did the first part of his medical, and then he went to Zebenerstrasse, Bayern's training ground, where a couple of hundred Bayern Munich fans were there waiting for the bright red car, which Harry Kane was going to rock up in. And there isn't usually this kind of hype when a new signing comes to Bayern Munich. But this is the biggest signing in their history in terms of finances and, to be honest, in terms of hype that someone comes with, particularly because Bayern Munich have been pretty solid in looking at their line of saying we're not going to spend over 100 million euros on a player. And for them to break it, they're going to have to do it for a very special player. And Harry Kane is just that. So that's why there's a lot of hype here in Germany, mainly in Munich, understandably, for Harry Kane's imminent arrival.
Nadem, you didn't see this happening, but it is.
No, I did not. I thought Harry Kane was going to be a Spurs lifer, to be honest. I literally signed that lifetime deal, but now that it's come up and the bid's been accepted and he's on his way there, I'm happy for him. I think he's one of the best forwards and best finishers in world football. And now he's going to go to a place, to one of the juggernauts of world football in itself. And he's going to be playing under more pressure. I think he can raise his ceiling off the back of it. And this is someone that scored this many goals already. I think for me personally, it felt at times like he was comfortable at Spurs, but going to play for a side where the expectation is success could be very, very good for him. And I anticipate he'll go there, he'll become a better player, he'll help out some of those players around there as well. And yeah, a side that, is expected to win this Bundesliga, win the trophies in Germany. And now, this is a real chance for him to go out and potentially win a Champions League, for example. I think it's a great move by Bayern, great move for him. The timing's perfect in terms of his age, his availability. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. And yeah, I'll be watching those games to see how he fits into that side because, given the success that other strikers have had in the past, I think Kane's plenty capable of scoring 30, 40 goals every season and he's going to be there. And I think that's going to be fun to watch for everyone, that actually likes Bayern Munich. And I guess in Germany, that's, just them.
Big contenders in the Champions League now with Kane in the squad.
Well, if you don't spend that kind of money, your record transfer fee on one of the best strikers around, which Harry Kane is, not to compete, as I said on yesterday's show, it's putting a lot of pressure on Thomas Tuchel because he's obviously pushed for this. And Macca mentioned those players, Gnabry, Coman, maybe Musiala. All these guys can run off Harry Kane if he decides to drop a little bit deeper. So he's got runners around him and he can just go and do what he's been doing for Tottenham for years. But absolutely, and look, it takes more than just a front man. If that was the case, then, with Lewandowski, Bayern would have won it every year. So it takes more than that, but it's certainly is a huge help. And look, this is a brilliant club. There was no English takers for him because Daniel Levy was too stubborn to accept bids from the big teams in England. Real Madrid were mooted for a little while, but then that went away. Lewandowski's at Barcelona, so there was nowhere else really to go apart from stay at Tottenham or make this move to Bayern Munich. He's made the move to Munich. Yes, we saw the Tottenham team there. It's not left the new manager, Ange Postecoglou, in a great position because, I tell you, Richarlison ain't no Harry Kane. But he must have knew this was coming, the new manager. And for Harry Kane, fair play. Could have sat there for another year, got a free transfer, but we've all been saying, let's just make the move now. Get out there, play for the best clubs and the best teams and challenge. And put what's happened at Tottenham behind you. He owes Tottenham nothing. He's been absolutely brilliant for this Tottenham side. And it's now time for this sort of fresh start towards the end of his career when he's in his 30s, and it's the right time to do it.
Was he the missing piece then, Archie, for this Bayern side?
I think if we put it like that, it makes it sound like this is all that Bayern need. And the thing is, he's walking into something of a political storm at Bayern right now. There are lots of different roadworks. They talk about Baustelle in Germany.